Hey guys, hey guys, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Dispute Panda Night. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. Thank you for closing that door. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. It is your girl Raquel May David. I am your hostess with the mostest, whose lips are dry with this lipstick. Okay. So we are here to dip and do and talk about Dispute Panda on tonight. As you guys are coming into the room, there was a note that was in the chat for everyone that's waiting. So if you guys can drop a 1 if you are brand new to credit repair, to the software, just drop me a 1. If you have the software, drop me a 2. If you have the software and have used it, drop me a 3 in the chat. We are going to have some fun on tonight. My goal is to keep it interesting, help you guys be a beast in these credit streets. And while I'm doing so, making sure that I drop a few gems on the way as to how we can make some drip money, how we can make sure that you guys are dipping and doing in the way that you need to. So, with that being said, ooh, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, I like to give the first 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes for us to go over any questions you have on the software. So if anyone needs to ask any questions, you can come off of mute. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Josh. Hey, Greg. Hey, CT. I'm so thankful that you are here. Gregory, thank you for dropping that tree. I was going to say that tree. You could tell I'm for Caribbean, right? I said that tree. Thank you for dropping that 3 in the chat for me. Hey, Rachel, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys have any questions, we got the first 10 to 20 minutes to go ahead and answer those questions for me. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Let me minimize some of these screens, honey. Mind your business. Don't you hire your family member because they be talking about you on your screens. Any questions that you guys have today while we're waiting for everyone to pull up into Club Panda? Let me know.
I got a quick question.
I might have an answer. What you got, babe?
Um, I went through the software and sent my first letters, like, and TransUnion came back and told me that I wasn't authorized for a third party to send out letters
Mm-hmm.
on my behalf. How
Mm-hmm.
will I, how will I correct that?
No problem. So I'm gonna actually show you exactly where you go to. Um, what I'm going to also state is when you have that answer that comes in, you want to make sure that you're answering it within the first 14 days. If it's outside of a 14-day window, you just want to send the next round of attack because at this point you've missed the window of replying opportunity. However, if it's recent when this happened, you are going to go to your client profile. Hold on, let me move some of these things out the ways, darling. You are going to go to, hold on, I'm gonna have to can I re-import? Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if the system will import for me because I have to be in a test account. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Not authorized. Okay, inactive. Let's go back to client list. Let me see who's the dummy client I got in here. Okay, so if you have that issue, you're going to go to the attack profile. You're going to come to start round and you're going to go to static letters. Once in static letters, you are going to scroll for the stall letter option. You're going to check the box and then you're going to put the date in that you actually sent your last round of disputes. If you are in the pro platform, you're able to upload the original dispute documentation as well as um have it printed with the stall. So for instance, if you did round 1 and when you completed round 1, you have the dispute letters, you're going to upload the dispute letters in there and then it will automatically print the stall letters with each one of those dispute letters. If you do not have the pro version, you're going to print out the stall letters and you're going to resend the dispute letters to the creditors. So you would click this option, fill in the box, and then from there, you are going to, if you guys are brand new, you go to your drive And if you're on the free platform, you would just select the creditor that gave you that information. So he said TransUnion, you'd actually go here. And if you have 2 letters for TransUnion, you're going to make 2 copies of that stall letter and put each one in 1 letter, as long as you sent the packet out individually. And best practices, guys, I personally do not lump my letters together because we don't want to have a stall on the whole file. So if you send them out individually, it makes it where you might have a stall on one, but you won't have a stall on all of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you would simply just go to the static letters area, go to the stall letters. You're going to complete that stall letter option, print it out, reprint your dispute letters, include the stall letter with each dispute, mail it out, and you're good to go.
Okay, that's cool.
Awesome.
I'll try
Any other
that.
questions?
Yeah, because I did send my first round out, and I got 1 offer already, so I'm just waiting for the other ones to come off.
Gotcha. The other
So
ones to come back, you mean? Or what do you
will
mean?
come back. I'm sorry, come
Gotcha.
back.
No, no worries. Yeah, that's good. So if you have a stall, that's how I would send it out. So that way you won't have to worry about it, because there's nothing legally saying that you cannot hire a company to repair your credit. So that's how I would handle the stalls. For those of you guys that are in my mentorship that's in the group, the way to avoid the stall is in the breakdown of the mentorship and what you would do before you send your first round out. What my best practice is that I go ahead and send out the announcement letter, which is my personal information letter. I wait 5 days and then I send out my first round of disputes. And y'all know it's because of how my contract is written, but I like to give you guys a full picture. So if you're doing this for yourself, there's nothing in violation. That is just a stall tactic that they have. And that stall letter response is located in the statics in the attack section under static letters when you do start rounds. So great questions, Gregory. Anybody else has any questions before we get started? Let me know. Let me know. Any questions, concerns, or comments, guys? I'm gonna chat. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Any other questions, guys? Let me move this over here. Ursula, I think that's what it says. Ursula, Blow Your Mind Studios LLC. Andre, thank you so much for pulling up the Club Panda. Is that Daniela? I think that's what it says. If I say your name wrong, please charge it to my mouth and not my heart. Thank you, Lord. Any questions? We got 2 minutes of open floor. Josh, you got a question? Hello, glad to be. Oh, we're so happy you're here too. It says Josh has a question. Rachel said you got a question, Josh. That's what I'm not the one who said it. Rachel said it.
She's throwing me under the bus. No, I had a client ask, how do you boost someone's credit by adding them an old line of credit? I don't understand what that means, but
Okay, so there are 5 components of the credit score. Okay, the 5 components are payment history, utilization, age, credit mix, and inquiries. When you are having a file, you can boost someone's credit by adding an old account to their profile, especially if they do not have an aged account. A lot of people, and this is just a tip that I gave out last month, a lot of people end up having their first account being a student loan. Because that first account is their student loan, if you end up removing that student loan, that can drop their score, right? So that's number 1. But basically the general answer for that is that you have an age that you have to meet, especially if you're over the age of 18. So the older and older you get, the older and older your account should age with you. The ideal number is 7. The goal number is 10. You receive the max points when you are at the age of 10. However, There are other factors that you want to take. And so when you're looking at a client's profile, you want to be able to understand all of the nuances on the credit report and the build out, but that's the general answer to that. So that particular portion of the credit score is worth 15%, which is your age on your account. So the older the account is, the better it is for your client, because all of that payment history is also working in their favor. That's number one. The payment history is working in their favor. Number two, you are having a nice balanced account, and it looks like you're able to pay on time throughout the process. So it can affect them. How it will affect them will depend on the other things that are on the account, because the age is average. So it's the average all the accounts that they have. If their oldest account is 2 years old, you getting them like a 24 or 20-year card would actually help their account tremendously. Okay, great questions. Thanks, Rachel, for throwing them under the bus. Josh, you could throw Rachel under the bus anytime. I give you permission to just throw her right up under the bus, and I won't even tell nobody. Okay.
We got to give each other a hard time.
Not, she said he would run me over. Girl, I'ma save you though, friend. I'ma save you, Rachel. Because everybody call me your name anyway, so we don't know if he throwing me under the bus or you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. We a team. We're a team over here at Club Panda. Any other questions? I see we have some new people that jumped in the room. Brinks, welcome back, baby. I appreciate you being here. Oh, Janae, that's just my assistant. Okay. I mean, I love you. To nothing. Nothing. I was saying welcome to the room, boo. No other questions? If not, we're going to dive in and get started with Dispute Panda. Oh, okay. There's another question in the chat. Hello. I'm fairly new using the software, and I'm still trying to figure out how to see the changes to the credit report against what was already disputed. Do I need the pro subscription to see this? Can you explain? Great question. So if you are on the free platform, the only way for you to see the changes is for you to manually log into whatever credit monitoring profile that you are, credit monitoring software you're using, and leverage that particular software and look at 1 month versus the next month. The only way that you can see it like all at once without you doing that would be for you to get the pro version. So on the free version, if you want to see what the updates look like and what the changes are, you would have to go ahead and physically log into the credit monitoring. Whether you're using Credit Dino, Identity IQ, Smart Credit, you'd have to log into that database and look at 1 month versus the next month. Great question. Any other questions for me? Oh, I love you too, Brinks. That's what I'm talking about. It is my pleasure, Danielle. If you have anything else, okay, nothing else. So we're gonna go ahead and start from the top, from the top. Let me stop sharing real quick. Oh, please tell me how to dispute 24 to like 30 student loans. Like I said, like I should be I'm done. You should be a doctor by now. I love that. So the system will automatically help you dispute it if there is any errors that has been notated or any imperfection. So if you have late payments and things of that nature on there, you have the ability to leverage that. Just for transparency, when it comes to student loans, you normally do not get reported late until you are out at that 60 to 90-day window. So they really do give you time for you to work it out before they actually report that you're late on the system. You said they're definitely fraud. So the system, as if you have a question about fraud, you can definitely book a call with me to go over what the fraud process is and what you can do if it's a fraudulent situation. However, if it's student loans, what I always recommend is that you go to studentaid.gov, and my recommendation is, if you have not done so already, consolidate your loans. Number one. Number two, they do have an income-based driven repayment program. Right now, the SAVE program that was there is completely on pause right now. So a lot of people who had the ability to have loan forgiveness did not have the capability of doing so. But my understanding is that they're bringing a version of it back. So anyone who has had loans that is over 20 years, you do have the ability to go ahead and try to still apply for student loan forgiveness. But if there is something that is incorrect, out of date, or creating an error for you, the system will automatically pull in the report for you and highlight the student loans if it's impacting you, where you have the ability to go ahead and dispute. Let me know if that answered your question, or if you want to dive in a little bit further. Cool. Let me blow your mind. You got some questions, babes? I see that you're not on mute anymore. Nope, you don't have any questions? Is there any current promotions on the pro subscription? I'm actually about to go over pricing. That's the very first thing I cover. And I'll talk to you about what that pricing structure looks like. And on today, if you guys are not aware, my job is to teach you guys how to use Dispute Panda, but even more, I actually show you how to log into the system and how to actually start the round of disputes, and send off your letters completely free. So while we go through the platform, we're going to be able to dive in real time, and we are going to set up the account. I'm going to walk you through the platform. I'll show you some of the perks that come with the pro, so you'll have an idea to, to be able to look and absorb that. And then we are going to process the round of disputes with zero money. So you'll actually see me put no money on the account and complete my first round of attack. And along the way, I tell you guys how to get drip money, because we over here for the shmoney. Okay. So to start at the top, the very first thing I like to cover is pricing. So what we're going to cover right now is pricing, training, and contact. Once we are done, I open the floor for quick questions, and then we sign into the program where I actually sign up for the application. So starting at pricing, this is a 100% pay-as-you-go system. A lot of other softwares, you have to pay a monthly overhead. With the Panda version, the standard version, they call it basic, but I call it the essential version. The essential version is completely free, which means you do not have to pay anything at all to have access to the software. The only thing that you are paying for is to generate your round of attacks. Again, I'm going to teach you guys today how to do that for free. The round of attacks are normally $17 per month per client. So if you have 5 clients, you're only being charged $17 per client for the free platform. Let me be clear. It's also for the pro platform if you are not utilizing the free option that I'm going to show you guys today. The pro option gives you 14 days at $1, and then you are billed $197 thereafter. Per month for the pro platform. There are some amazing features with the pro. I'm going to dive into that once we get in, but you also have the option to get the yearly, and you get 2 months for free if you pay up for the year. Okay. So this is the platform in its entirety. These are the pricing. Again, my goal is to show you how to be a beast in these credit streets with a very low overhead. Because anyone that knows me knows I have 4 kids and I like to shop. Okay. I also change my hair all the time, so we need this money. Like we need to save. Um, so free platform, free every single month. The only thing you're paying for is for the letters. Please be mindful, if you get the pro, you are still paying monthly, but you still pay for the letters. Again, unless you use the method that I'm about to show you guys today when it comes to creating your dispute letters. Okay. The next tab I want to take you guys to is the training tab. Before you scroll up, down, around the corner, the first thing I want you to pay attention to is this free download button. I need you, if you are by your computer, if you are by your iPad, whatever, I need you to go into the system and I need you to click on this option. I need you to download this flow. Now, I do know that we have some 3s in here that are a little bit seasoned. So what I will tell you guys is this flow was created for 2 purposes. So number 1, when Dispute Panda originally came out, there was a white attack, a black attack, a blue attack, and a red attack. Okay. The reason that attack was created was to create a sequence of letters that you would select in the system that will automatically generate for you to help you while you're learning the art of credit repair. The system would already generate the letters and make it do what it got to do for you. Okay. However, with that being said, a lot of people were complaining because the prior system allowed you or required you to send out letters certified mail. And then we realized that a lot of people that were leveraging this platform were not CROs, just credit repair organizations. They were just individuals looking to fix their own credit or help their family or their local community. So they were getting their feet wet, and there were things that people were not understanding. So because of that, we then created this new flow that does not require letters to be in colors. It does not require letters to be certified. And it tells you when you are going to also send out letters to the other credit reporting agencies, such as who I like to call Big Brother in the Sky, LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, and a few more. So with this particular flow, whether you are on the pro version or the free version, if you are brand new to credit repair, this flow is going to get you results. Okay. And you can come in here, utilize these flow, and I'm going to show you on the free version how you can leverage it. The only difference on the free version is that you do not have the option to have the letters that go to the creditors. So the creditor letters that are generated for you when you are on the pro is not available on the free. The benefit of having the creditor letters is because we know that the credit reporting agencies have a trend that instead of actually going to the source, which is the creditor, such as Capital One, Bank of America, Santander, what they will do is check their internal database and say, yep, that was reported on the 3rd of October, so it is negative. Well, once you go ahead and engage the creditor, because the creditor does not want any fines, they don't want any delays, they will respond within 30 days to help you. So that gives you a little bit more movement to be more aggressive when you are going through the dispute process. So if you are brand new to credit, do not know what we're dipping and doing, do not worry. At the very top of the training platform, you go ahead and click that option of download the guide, and it will automatically take you here where you're able to see all of the flows, and it gives you a full 12 months. Now, someone will ask, like, does it take 12 months? To be transparent, we don't know if it's going to take you 12 months or not. What we want to do is we want to give you up to 12 months. On average, the credit repair process can take anywhere from 6 to 12 months. I've had a client with me for as long as 24 months because we were going through litigation. And of course, every time we got them to a certain score, they would go out and dip it again. Okay. So you have to understand that credit repair is a dance. One dance is the letters, the other dance is how is your client maintaining their actual credit score. So once we get in, I will do a short portion of my consultation call, and we'll be able to see what that conversation looks like, right? So, oh, welcome, Miss Clay and Mr. Clay. I'm so happy that you guys are here today. Okay, so if you guys are by your computer, please, please, please click on the training tab, click on the free downloads, and then you by all means can go ahead and scroll through. Today, I'm going to be covering how to add a client to the Dispute Panda and get a free round of attack. That is what we're going to be going through on today from start to finish, but you have the ability to watch all of these videos. Side note, I want to point out that if you are using Smart Credit for any other credit repair organizations, make sure you grab the code because you do have to get the HTML code. And I will show you guys what I'm talking about once we get into the system when it's time to import the credit report. Okay. So this is a training tab. I am only here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sidebar, I will not be here this Thursday. I do apologize, pro team. I will be in Atlanta. So anyone that is in the Atlanta area, pull up on your girl. I'll be there. Okay, dipping and doing. But you can definitely watch all these videos, and I'm back every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the pro people. Okay. The contact tab allows you to go ahead and speak to our customer service. Our customer support team will allow you to go ahead and put your client's information in here. You can ask questions about disputes, rounds, mailing, credit, subscriptions, anything you have on a client profile, you can go ahead and dispute. One thing I like to drop in the chat is always about a wonderful platform that allows me to be a beast in these credit streets in real time. And it is called the Loom platform. Let me go ahead and grab it and drop it. All right. So the Loom platform allows us to go ahead and do a recording. So you can actually record your screen and you can send it to customer service, your virtual assistant, your admin, your daughter, if she's acting like she can't read. You can go ahead and send them the video. But one of the best things about the video is that once it's been watched, you get an icon that pops up that lets you know the item has been viewed. Okay. So that way you can gauge how long the person should be getting in contact with you and then act accordingly. So I definitely think it's a great tool. I drop it in there because it's a free 99 tool. And y'all know I like free. Free to me, free to you. Okay. So if you have general questions, though, like you want to talk about press, you want to be a part of the beta team, anything of that nature, you can actually go ahead and switch over to general questions and you'll be able to ask those specific questions. And the back office, which is my info at Dispute Panda team, will go ahead and reply back to you and basically segment it off to where it needs to go. So if you want to be a part of the beta testing team, go ahead and send a message out. Whenever we're looking to test anything, it will give us a pool of people that's willing to allow us to leverage their stuff to go and help them find new methods or new tactics. Or if you want partnership or press, that is also an option that's available. Okay. So we have covered pricing, training, contacts. Any questions on those three things before we dive into the platform? Any questions, guys? I'm gonna make sure. No questions? All righty. All right, cool. So we are going to get started with signing up for free. So one of the things that I would like to go over when we are talking about sign up is that if you are utilizing this platform as the owner of the account, because we're creating a profile here, and a client, because you're going to be disputing your own credit report, you need to have two separate email addresses, one email address for the owner, one email address for the user. So if you do not have multiple email addresses, please create one. Gmail is free. Yahoo is free. Everything's what? Free. Okay. You got a question for me, Josh? No questions? Okay. All right. You got a question for me? Matlock at fakemeal.com. All right. So as we are dipping and doing over here, we're going to go ahead and plug in the information. I've had people ask before, do you have to have a different phone number? You do not. You can utilize the same phone number as the user of the profile. So if you're the owner and your phone number is 407-403-3707, you can actually use that as the client. The only thing that has to be different is the email address. Okay, you want to go ahead and check the box that says by signing up you agree, and then you want to go ahead and select email any special offers, products, updates, or resources. I personally check that box because I like to know about discounts and everything that's going on. It is completely up to you if you guys need to do that as well. When will they fix the inquiry deletion? iPhone, what do you mean by fix the inquiry deletion? Let me know. Hey, Treen Bean. Hey, Andre. Hey, Marvin. Welcome to the room. iPhone, if you can go ahead and tell me what you mean by fix the inquiry deletion, what's the problem with it? Let me know. Hi. If you're going to drop it in the chat or if you want to come off of mute, completely okay. Either one works fine. Okay. So when it comes here, you're going to get to the service agreement. I am not going to read the service agreement today. However, I am going to go ahead and check the box. This is going to tell you how to do business with Dispute Panda and how Dispute Panda intends for you to do business with the platform. Okay. The question in the chat is, I can get any deletions with the inquiry. I'm not understanding what you're writing, my love. If you want to come off of mute, so I can't get any deletions with the inquiry method. So for transparency, the method that you're leveraging is stating that you did not authorize or there's something wrong with the inquiry that was done. Okay. If the inquiry is not attached to an open and active account, it is reasonable for you to go ahead and request for that inquiry to come back because you were not given the actual account. However, inquiries are not the easiest things to get off. So I like to be transparent and let people know that that can take a process. There are some people that like to leverage calling the actual credit bureaus or the credit reporting agencies and letting them know that these were not authorized attempts, or letting them know that, hey, you didn't secure any accounts with them. Can they please be removed? What I personally do, just being transparent, the process that I normally do is I do go ahead and select the inquiries during my personal information letter. And I also select them every single time I do a dispute. However, that process itself is not a quick process. Okay. Unless you're willing to do additional layers, which again could be calling the credit reporting agencies and asking them to remove those since there are no attached accounts to them, you have the ability to do that. But the process can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I don't know what round you're in, iPhone, but it's not an instant thing. I personally have generated a letter asking the creditor what number I was, because a lot of people don't know that the agencies and the companies that pull your credit are only allowed to do a certain amount in batches. And then from that batch, like, they may have to buy more. So you have ability to leverage that. But there are different methods that you can leverage when you're disputing inquiries. But what I can advise you is that it's not going to be a quick process. The best method that I've heard people do is doing the phone call, which does require you to sit on the phone. Okay, it does require you to sit on the phone for you to do that. But if you're doing it by mail, it is going to take several rounds for you to actually receive or seek the results that you're looking for. A lot of people have come and have talked to me about the inquiries. I just want to be transparent, guys. Inquiries are only worth 55 points. That's it. That's all. It's only worth 55 points out of the 850, now 900 credit score that you can get, right? So I'm not even stressing inquiries unless that particular client is looking to get business funding or looking to get funding and they're over the 6 for the 12-month period that most lenders will not look side eye for. If that is not their issue, if their inquiries are like a 4 or a 3 or a 7, I'm not really trying to hone in on the inquiries. I'm going to be more vigilant on the other parts of the credit scores that is weighted more heavily. And we'll cover that in a second. But hopefully that answered your question. If you have anything else, definitely drop it in. I'll be happy to read it for you. All right. So once we get into the platform here, is that 55 points for each inquiry? No. The inquiry, which is 10%, is worth 10% of your overall score, which roughly equates to 55 points in totality. So when you're breaking down those 5 components, inquiry is only worth 10%, and that's only 55 points. So if your client does not have an excessive amount of inquiries within the last 12 months, and I'm talking about 12, 24, something of that nature, and please remember, if they're doing something like they're purchasing a car and they've purchased a car within they've gone to multiple locations within that 14 days. Yeah, they're getting multiple accounts that are showing up, but they're rolling that hit as into one hit. The same thing with mortgages. It's up to 30 days. They're about to roll it out to 45 days. They're rolling that into one hit instead of it being individual hits that are going on the profile. So for me, if the client does not have excessive inquiries, that are not just because they went for real estate or they went for auto loan, right? I'm not pressed because that's 50. The max that you can lose in that area is 55 points. The max that you can gain is 55 points. I'm focusing on the heavy hitters, which is payment history, utilization, age, credit mix. That's where I'm going to be leveraging, because that's gonna, again, credit mix is also 10%. So we're going to delete, we're going to make sure that we can leverage that. And that's an easy fix for a client's profile. But yeah, it's not each, it's just you can lose points, and you lose anywhere from 7 to 10 points depending on what the inquiry is on your profile. Great questions. I like this. All right. The flow that is listed here is a great flow to help you with the payment history on here, and then we can dive into some other options once we get through the platform. Great questions. So when we are going through the actual platform here on the dashboard, you have this black bar for you to verify your email. As y'all can tell, I use matlock@fakemail.com, and Matlock don't got no email, y'all. Okay, he ain't finna pull up to the club. So just know I cannot verify, but I will still be able to work within the system while we are sitting here dipping and doing. Okay. On the main screen, you get to see round, missing documents, birthday. It does shift a little bit once you actually load clients in. It will actually just show you your clients' profiles that are listed on there for you to be able to get in. But what I want to go ahead and talk about is these things over on the right, because we're going to cover about some drip money and how you can make sure that you're getting funds as you're using the platform, even if you have the free platform. So when you click on earn the free credits, this gives you the ability to become a referral partner with Dispute Panda. So what that means for you is you have the ability to, if you are in any industry, if you're in the insurance industry and you know someone that wants to get into credit, you can go ahead and click accept right here. Once the referral program goes live, you will actually get your own link that you will be able to pass out to individuals. If they sign up under your link, you are able to go ahead and let that get credit for them signing up under your link. So this is a way for you to make, I like to call it silent money without you doing anything extra. You can put this on your link tree, your bit.ly, you put it on your website as under resources, completely up to you how you want to navigate those waters. Okay. Now, the next option here is Dispute Panda Pro, where you can go ahead and upgrade, and I'll show you that a little bit. You just click on it. It actually opens up the tab for you where you have a host of features. Panda Pro gives you a lot of upgrades. My favorite part of the upgrade is the creditor letters, of course, but you also get a safe client portal access, which means you can create onboarding forms when you are in the pro, so that if you have clients, they can actually sign their contract, upload their own identification. Plus, it has integratable forms where you can use Zapier to go ahead and speak to this system. And it gives you shareable reports. And I'll show you that, guys, what that kind of looks like when it comes to the pro. The pro is definitely something you can leverage. I like to give a tip when we are dealing with this on a personal level. If you have 5 to 7 people in your family that's looking to repair their credit, you can leverage this system. Go ahead and upgrade to the 197 platform and split the cost betwixt all of them and say, listen, if you pay me X amount, I'll generate the letters to you and I'll give you the letters and you just mail it out yourself. And this way the system is paid for, but you don't necessarily have to worry about paying the 197 because you don't necessarily have a full house of clients. So that is a way that you guys can leverage it as you go on. Now, if you click on this option here, and this right here, y'all, I don't think y'all can understand. I love me some Credit Dino, okay? If y'all don't know what I mean, hold on 1 second. They playing with me in this house. Okay. If y'all don't know what I mean, let me tell y'all what I mean. Credit Dino is a credit monitoring software that it was actually created for Dispute Panda. So the data points and the information is collected every single time you keep this account on file and you pull the credit report. The system is tracking what letters worked, what verbiage worked best, and then it is basically reproducing that information, of course with different verbiage, as the system is creating its intelligence. Because remember, the system has artificial intelligence, right? So with that being said, Credit Dino pulls in the credit report, and I'm going to list some things that creates the differences between Credit Dino and the other credit monitoring softwares that are out here. So if y'all are not aware, what is compatible with this software is Identity IQ, Smart Credit, My Score IQ, and of course, Credit Dino. Credit Dino gives you the ability that you make $8 for every person that is using this credit monitoring software. Plus, it credits you $17 every 35 days. that your client is paying for this software. So you, in essence, can run a free round of letters every 35 days for the client. Now, a lot of times you have people that sit here and say, well, why would I want to do that? Well, think about it. You're now using a free platform. Even if you guys are on the paid version, let's say it's $197, you have the paid version, you are not paying for the rounds of attack if the client is using Credit Dino. So not only are you making $8, but you're getting a $17 credit, which means you're now already in the black instead of operating in the red. Repeat, how can you leverage the pro version again, please? Sure, Brinks. So when you say leverage, are you talking about the breakdown that I said with the family, or you talk? Give me a little bit more, because I said a lot. You're talking. I be out here talking. If you want to come off of mute, you definitely can, Brinks, so I can dive in and answer what you missed. Let me see. All right. Regarding getting customers. Oh, so if you have family members, you can break up the cost for the 197. I'm not quite sure, because I believe that when I was just talking about the customers, I was just saying a way that you can cover the cost if you don't have customers. So what I have told my mentees to do when they're doing it for themselves and their family is that, hey, instead of you covering the 197, you split the cost of the 197 between your family, and you let them know, hey, I'll generate the letters and you go ahead and mail it out, but you have to pay me $50 a month or $37 a month, right? Depending on what however many people in the family you're utilizing to go ahead and help them with their credit. So one of the things that I do is I actually have on my calendar where people can book me for a family credit repair night, where I can come in, everyone can bring their credit report, and I'm able to go ahead and look at everyone's credit report and then help them. I have a DIY platform that I give them access to so they can utilize that. Or if they want to start doing it themselves, I can teach them how they would leverage it together as a family, because I've noticed that a lot of people are into the building legacy, right? And they're wanting to get out of the hole that they're in, and they're willing to do it as a community. So I did create that as an option to help a family be able to move from bad credit to great credit, right? So that is a way that you can do it as a family collective and just have them leverage. I'm glad you got it. I love it. Okay. So you can sign up for this. Again, the basic plan right now is $39. If you have an affiliate link, however, it's only $29 a month for the client. The system allows you to go ahead and get a free round of credit every 35 days, because you're supposed to allow 30 days for processing. So when you generate the letter on today, you should allow 5 days for the letters to then be mailed and received, 30 days for processing. And then after that happens, you are then able to go ahead and then get the response back. So the system is rewarding you for following the guidelines by gifting you a free round of attack every 35 days. Now, so you get the free credit. Go ahead, CT, what you got?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I did that.
No worries.
No worries.
Okay. So when you are looking through, you have that option. And also you do a one-click import when you come into using the Credit Dyno, which means you don't have to log into the credit monitoring for the other application, update the credit report, bring it over here. You don't have to do all of that. You're literally just doing a one-click import. It's pulling in the information, it's updating the credit report, and it's automatically helping you generate the next round of letters by selecting the accounts that you have to focus on. What questions you got for me, Gregory?
I got a quick question.
Mhm.
My question is, how would you get them to get credit? I know. Would you ask them to sign up for Credit Dino and then tell them to give you the password, or would you put that in a contract? How would you engage Credit Dino to the client?
That's a great question. So You're saying this as a credit repair organization, correct?
Right.
Okay. So if I personally have my company, and in my company, when you book my appointment on my appointment calendar, it automatically gives you the information for you to sign up for Credit Dino. So you don't have another option for me. When you're coming into my platform automatically tells you that you need to sign up for Credit Dino, and then I send a reminder email out that says that I need the login information 2 hours before our meeting. And then an hour before the meeting, if I don't have the login information, it cancels the appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would that work? Would you charge them automatically, like a $50 fee,
I don't charge
or
them
like a
anything.
10?
So when you say
Okay.
charge them, what do you mean? Are you talking about your family, or are
Like
you talking
I'm
about
just
your friend?
saying, I ain't talking about none of my friends. I ain't because me dealing with friends. I didn't know about dealing with friends. Family, yeah, but dealing with friends, they feel like you owe them something or whatever, and I don't know. I'd rather not do with friends. I
Mhm.
do family members all day long, but friends can get kind of weird. I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
So
I have a question.
I could do family
And then the
members, but
strangers.
charging them as, yeah, like charging them as not to waste my, like if I'm gonna do this, like what do you
So
tell
let me
them
let me
to
clear
of
let me
$10?
clarify. Let me clarify
Because
something real quickly, Gregory. So I want to clarify that if you're coming to me for me to help you fix your credit, if you're coming to me, then I'm
right,
giving you the tools
right,
that I need to help you fix your credit. So I don't care if you're using
right,
myfico.com. I don't care if you're with Identity IQ. I get to tell you what you are going to be able to use with me for me to help
okay,
you get to the
that's
score that you have to have. So when you're going through and
okay,
setting up your business, you have to make the parameters as to what's a non-negotiable. Are you going to make it where, since there are 4 softwares or 4 credit monitoring softwares that are available, that they can sign up to any one of the 4? Or are you going to have it where they only know about this one software that is compatible with your service, because that's what you're going to use, so you can start the process in the black? Now, whatever you decide that you're wanting
okay,
to charge, it's completely up to you. But understanding that when you get
okay,
book a consultation with me, you can't sit in my space without a credit report, because otherwise we're having hypothetical conversations. I need the credit report in order to do a consultation and
right,
an audit for you. Does that make sense?
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that
So
makes
you
sense.
get to you
Okay.
get to pivot there. No worries at all. I love the question. Okay. I saw that, Trina, that question cannot be answered on this call. This is a Dispute Panda night. I'm gonna need you to bring that to the Saturday meetup calls. Thank you so much. Um, Edson, what question do you, what you said you have a question? How can I help?
Yeah, I have a question. Hello, everyone. Good night. God bless.
Hey.
I had a question pertaining to the Dispute Panda, the Metro 2 AI disputes. Which one is well recommended for a dispute, so that if I want to dispute a late payment, what is a well recommended strategy, or well recommended way that I can use Dispute Panda to dispute a late payment on a credit, on an account?
Great question. So I have a question for you. Have you downloaded the guide?
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
So when you go to Dispute Panda, whether you're on the main page or you're logged into the platform, if you select this option that says training, there's going to be a free download. When you download the free download, it is going to give you a guide. The guide is good for no matter what you're using: repo, foreclosure, bankruptcy, uh late payments. This flow has been tested and it works. What
Okay.
I will tell you, if you're asking me for my method, on top of using, I personally use a different flow. But that's because I've been here before. Boy, I'm a rapper in my life. But but if you are leveraging the system, the only addition to that I tell people to leverage is to definitely do a goodwill letter. And then the next thing that I tell people to do is to also email the CEO, see if you can find the email address to the CEO. And I take that same verbiage in the goodwill letter that you find under the static letters within Dispute Panda. And I basically copy that verbiage and email it to the CEO. So I'm doing the regular disputes to the corporation or to the credit repair organization, the credit reporting organization. I'm then creating a letter because I have the pro. I send the letter to the actual creditor. I generate a goodwill letter and then I email the CEO. So I'm attacking it multiple ways. But if you're asking what is the most general way that you can do, this guide is going to help you no matter what your client's profile looks like.
Okay, so the generated goodwill letter that's on the static, right? You basically talking about the static letters. Those are the ones that you're sending to the creditors as well as what I was gonna say again, as well as the
credit reporting agencies. Yep.
reporting agencies. So I can send those goodwill letters to the credit reporting agencies.
The goodwill letters do only go to the creditor. It doesn't go to the credit reporting agency. So the static letter, if you go into static and you click on that option, it doesn't give you an option for the creditor. It's giving you the address for you. It doesn't give you an option for the credit bureau. All credit bureau letters are already generated in the system, and it literally says they're credit bureau. Goodwill letter specifically says creditor. So you can only send the goodwill letter to the person that you owe the debt to.
Okay, copy that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Great question. Great question. Anything else? Anything else, Edison? I love that question. Okay.
Yeah, I had a question about
1 second
your,
before you jump in, Brian. Hold on 1 second. We had another one in the chat. It was Andre. Andre says, are you only paid once by Credit Dino after the first time your client pays? So if they are not in need of more credit repair after the fourth attack, but keep Credit Dino, are you getting residuals? So you are paid every month that the client keeps it. I'm going to give you guys a hack that I personally do. If my client graduates before the 6th month, which means if I get them to the score that they're looking for, if I get them the credit line that they're looking for, or we secure a house or a car, whatever their why was that they signed up with me, one of the things that I position to them is an option to have a VIP service where either you can purchase for $9.99 once a month. Once every 3 months, I send out a personal information letter, but it's required for them to keep the credit monitoring on. Or I give them the $19.99 option, which allows me to send out a personal information letter every 2 months. Again, it's required for them to keep the credit monitoring on. So as long as the person has the credit dyno, you will get paid that $8 regardless. Hope that answered that question. But if they do cancel it, whenever they cancel it, that's when it stops. Okay, great question. If you have anything else, go ahead and drop in the chat or come off of mute. Brian, what was your question, my love?
I wanted to ask about your Saturday meetups, I guess. How do I get a hold of that so I can attend those?
Oh, sure. I have a mentorship group. Give me 1 second. I will grab the link. My mentorship group is $37 a month. We have a minimum of 2 meetup a month. It actually ends up being way more, y'all, because I don't know how to leave here. But what I do is I have one day that we're actually doing a training. So we're either implementing something, you're either learning something or implementing it. And then Saturdays, at least 2 Saturdays a month, we actually go over where we have an open workroom. I think this Saturday, Trina, what we covered this Saturday? This Saturday, we did reading of the credit report and understanding what it meant. And then we also went in and broke down, like, very nuanced the process of Dispute Panda and why things were the way it was. Because I feel like on this call, people don't necessarily, not everyone ask like in-depth questions sometimes because they may not have access to it. But on Saturday, there were some like really, really good questions that I'll definitely bring into this call so that there's a better clarity when it comes through. But you have to be a part of my mentorship. Or if you've purchased a one-on-one with me, you get access to the Facebook group. That's a gift that I give you along with some of my letters that I like to use. And that way you get the actual email that says, hey, we're having an open workroom. Sometimes I will go into the community and I will go into the Facebook group and let you guys know that I'm having an open workroom. So if you guys follow me on social media, I do drop Zoom links randomly that if I'm working files, you guys get to come in and dip and do with me. Great
Thank you.
question. My pleasure, Ryan. Any other questions, guys?
Is there any new way to for Experian? They are the only ones that really send out the stall letters. Is there any way to avoid those stall letters?
I can tell you my method that I use. I have a personal information letter that goes out that has the stall verbiage in it. I send that letter out before I actually send out my first round of disputes. And then I also send out that personal information letter every 30 days if there is an issue, or every 35 days if there is an issue with my address not being clear, my name not being clear, and it also has that stall information. But if you are getting stalls, you would go into the static and you would go ahead and select stall letter and send it out with the round of disputes as well. So a lot of people just do the static letters. I want to make sure that I'm pointing out that you're going to send the static letter and the dispute together, not separately.
Okay. Yeah, Experian, like, it never fails. Every time they always uh send the third party letter. But
Mhm.
Equifax and TransUnion, they do not.
Yeah, I would definitely tell you to leverage the stall letter that's in the system under the static letters and send it with your round of disputes if you've gotten that multiple times.
But I gotta. So mine came back TransUnion,
Mm-hmm.
but Experian, I didn't get one.
Everyone's
So
different, my love.
okay,
Yeah, not
okay.
everyone's the same. Some people it's Experience, some people it's Equifax, some people it's all three. It's not, again, it's not what you can count on is that they will try to stall. How they're going to try and stall, we cannot dictate. That's why I do go over some documentation that you should have when you're going through the process.
Now the
Any
reason why they stalling is because they don't want to do the research, or they need time to do the research.
So, according to the law, they can request for time to do the research. Also, if you're sending too many letters in and you're not allowing the 30-day time for it to go through, they have the right to say that it's frivolous, or they can say that they're not going to work on it because they don't believe it's genuinely you. So, it just depends on what's going on and who's processing the information. Understand that there's a platform called eOscar that's actually internal. Sometimes that system just kicks that letter out, especially with template letters, which is why I like Dispute Panda, because it's merging the Metro 2 plus factual, like it's putting all of the stuff together for my accounts. And although you might have a foreclosure and I might have a foreclosure, the letters are not going to look the same. Right. So it does allow there to be an individuality, even though our profiles might have similar things on there. I think a lot of times what's happened is when they get a hang of a method working and something happening, they do want to put a freeze on that and be like, wait, no, because remember, at the end of the day, y'all are affecting their money. The inquiries, you're affecting their money. If you're removing addresses, especially addresses, because the credit reporting agencies, they sell your address off to make more money. The companies have to pay to put that debt on the credit report, right? So if you guys are getting things off and removing it, it is messing up the money that they're earning. That's big business for them. So that's why you're going to see the stalls, the hiccups, and all of those things. Great question. Any other questions, guys? I love these questions tonight.
I have a
Yeah.
question for you.
Okay. What's your question, my love?
Were you talking to me, Andre?
Yeah, Dre, you can go ahead.
Okay.
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
as I was going through a lot of this process and getting started, and maybe you'll go over this tonight. Freezing your account, freezing your accounts, the secondary credit bureaus and primary credit bureaus, all of that prior to sending out your first lines of dispute letters. I seem to see some people online and some information online where some folks are doing that and other people are not. Is that something that is recommended or something that Dispute Panda will kind of assist, or hey, do this first or whatever?
We do not. So real quick, I want to go ahead and show you guys something. This is outside of Dispute Panda, and this is bringing y'all into my coaching platform, but I like to give y'all the tea. Okay. So
I like
when we,
tea.
yeah, so bring your cup now. Make sure you got your cup.
All right.
So this is a list of credit reporting agencies that has your information. Okay. The truth of it all, let me do Command F. Is there are multiple companies that are owned by the big credit reporting agencies. So, for instance, if you have a person that has eviction, TransUnion owns an eviction like a rental screening company. So even if you turn around and you decide to freeze LexisNexis, Innovis, or whatever, that does not negate that if that company is owned or that relationship already happened, that they're still not going to communicate. So for me, unless I am dealing with a bankruptcy, I personally do not freeze the account, because it does not necessarily help the movement one way or another in my track record. Now, there are other people who do freeze it, but I like to explain the way that this goes. Let's say you have think of the freeze as a cease and desist, and I tell Andre, you cannot talk about me, okay? Andre, from that moment, can no longer talk about me moving forward. But what Andre already said in the past is already there. You follow what I'm saying? So if you're sending out dispute letters, that doesn't negate what was already told. They already said that you wasn't paying on time. They said that you wasn't doing it. You're not paying on time. You're not pulling up to the club. You're not paying your child support. You're not doing it. They already said it. Number one. Number two, because of the fact that these credit reporting agencies also own some of the subsidiary companies that are also out here, which Factor Trust is a big company that's also owned by who? TransUnion. So how you gonna tell me stop talking to my sister? You gonna tell me stop talking to my brother? You think I'm gonna stop talking to my brother? I own him. I was born first. If it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be a him. So when we're looking at it, I don't want to discourage people from doing that. I want you to be clear that unless there's a situation like, for instance, we have the violation that just recently happened with the breach, right? The data breach that happened to the Social Security Administration. I don't know why they didn't just wipe it out and give us all an 850 credit score. Okay, that's a breach, and give me my scores. But if that just happened to your client, yes, you can do that. Trina, can you have what? I'm sorry, hold on one second. Trina, that information is in the mentorship program on file. So you already have the list, Trina Bean. Oh, I'm not playing with you today. I go back to the Facebook group. I literally walk you through where you can find it, and you have the list already. I'm finna go get Trina, y'all. Sorry. Trina's my favorite, y'all. Okay, so when you are going through the process, does it require you to freeze it? I can tell you that my method for bankruptcy, I do freeze. However, if it's not an identity theft, which your client should be doing their own identity theft process, if it's not a situation where there's a data breach or it's not a bankruptcy, I don't see the necessity of you freezing it. Personally, what I will recommend is that as you guys are going through and you're selecting a flow, if you are going to follow someone's flow, follow it, track it, see what the results are, and then make a decision if that's going to be your flow moving forward.
Okay.
Make sense?
Absolutely. This is why I have to ask a Black woman. They have all the answers.
Well, thank you. That's what I'm here for. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions, guys?
Is there any way that you can edit a letter on Dispute Panda?
Nope, but if you go to smallpdf.com. Okay, so let me back up, because that's not the right answer. When you say edit, are you trying to add something into the letter, or are you trying to take something away?
Add something into it.
I will show you how to add something into the letter when we get into the dispute process.
Okay.
Okay, but once the letter is generated, you cannot add anything into it. There are only specific areas that I have found that you can add, and I'm going to talk about what that is. But on a basic level, the answer is genuinely no. If you want to do some edits, I do suggest people use Small PDF. It is a free platform. You can literally just, and I'll actually show you guys, if you guys go to Small PDF, you can click this button that says convert, and you would drop the actual PDF file here. It will convert it into a Word document, and then you can edit anything that you need to do after the fact. So that would be my $3.99 tip if y'all need. All right. So let's go back here. All right. So any other questions before we go back in?
I got a question.
I ain't got an answer. I'm joking. What's the question?
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
So why would you freeze on a bankruptcy? Like, I wanted to ask that.
Sure.
Like, why
So
would you
for
freeze?
bankruptcy flow, I'm disputing multiple areas. So remember, Pacer can show all the places that the bankruptcy is housed. And then I'm contacting the actual court that they're actually filed the bankruptcy under. And the process for me when I tracked worked more efficiently when it came to the letters when there was a freeze on the places that hold the bankruptcy record, because now they can't re-verify the information based on the verbiage of my letters. But when it was on there, it would take, so if I left it open, I've noticed that it will take me 12 months to get off, where on average, I've been able to whittle it down between 6 to 8 months to get the bankruptcy off. So it's just a process based on my tracking that I personally feel is a better process, and it's more, it makes more impact when you are doing bankruptcies to get that bankruptcy off for your client. But track it and come back and tell me what y'all got. Great question. Any other questions, guys? Nope. All right. All right. So let's get started. So up here, if you want to go ahead and find a client, you can go ahead and type in your client's information. You would be able to put 3 characters, and of course it'll bring it up. But since we ain't got no clients, we're not doing that. Okay. Then if you click on the client tab, it will also take you to where you can see active clients, inactive clients. And if you are leaving a software and coming into this software, you can go ahead and click on the CSV files. Okay. You can go ahead and select dismiss. And if you want to go ahead and import a client, you would click on new client. We're going to go over this in a second. What I do want to point out is if you're having an issue, anyone pulling a client in from any other platform, you can send the CSV file to the back office and they will be able to go ahead and pull that client in for you, pull the files in so that you don't have to be stressed out. That's why I love them. They're so amazing. The letters tab is where you can see the letters that are going out for on the platform. What I also want to go ahead and cover with you guys is if you're telling the platform to send off letters, it costs. So even though I'm going to show y'all today how to dispute the letters for the free 99, I want you to understand that it's going to cost in order for you to go ahead and send the letters off with the system. I've had people ask, do I use the system? If I am traveling, for instance, I will be in Atlanta. Anyone in Atlanta, pull up on your girl. I will be in Atlanta. If I'm in Atlanta and I am processing clients at 3:00 in the morning and I want the letters to go out, I will have the system mail it for them. But because I primarily have a power of attorney within my contract, I normally include that power of attorney with every single dispute round. I know I don't have to, but that is normally what I do. Okay. So that does alleviate for me a lot of the stall letters from happening because I have that wonderful signed POA. Now, when it comes to you guys leveraging, what I'm going to tell you is the system is great. It mails out the letters. You're able to see everything. It is completely up to you what you want to navigate. Once you get more clients, I do think, oh yeah, we can link up. I don't drink, but I do eat. Al, But I definitely tell people to leverage the platform, especially if you have a lot of clients. I personally am a control freak, so myself and my niece are always sending out letters. We actually have a pile over on the side. I know she's ready to quit me, but we go together. If the system goes out and if the letters go out and you send it to the system, it has to go out by 12 p.m. PST, which is where Snoop and Damn is at. And then if it comes in after 12 p.m. PST, it goes out the next business day. Okay. Wanted to go ahead and drop that. The inbox. Inbox is a pro feature. That's where your clients can communicate with you safely through an email portal. I do not get distracted. Well, sometimes I do. Don't worry about it. But this is where your clients can go ahead and communicate with you safely. The reports tab. I love me the reports tab, y'all. Let me go ahead and show y'all what the reports tab look like. Hold on. Let me move this over here. Okay. So this is what the reports tab look like. Bam. So what the reports tab does, it gives you a snapshot of score increases, deletions. I love the whole dollar amount situation. Like that is life for me. Okay, y'all. With that being said, when you are going through on the pro, you not only have this on the company level, which is this screen here, you actually have it on the client level. So when the young lady was saying, how can I, Miss Rachel, I think, was saying, how can I go ahead and see the updates? You're able to see this information in the actual client's portal when you're on the clients tab. And I will show you where you can find that, but it gives you the ability to where you can actually see how many dollars, what's been the increase. I tell this all the time on the calls. A lot of people don't like to share stuff when it's in the negative. I do, because I like to talk about what people doing wrong and what people doing right. Okay. Then you're able to go ahead and share it as a report. You just click this tab here and you can actually share it on your social media. So on the pro, you're able to put your logo on there, your website, your phone number, all of the things. And you can use this as a social media post to show them what you be out here doing and being a beast in these credit streets. Okay. So that is what the reports tab does. Something came in the chat. So do you recommend attaching a copy of the client's contract with first round? I do not recommend sending a contract because the contract means nothing. I send a power of attorney. So unless you're going to include a power of attorney, and I personally have my power of attorney notarized. So if you're doing that, I would say send the POA with the actual dispute rounds that you're getting, but I don't send off the contract. And I send the power of attorney with every round of disputes if I'm home. Now, if I'm not home, then it only ends up going out when I come back and I fax the letters out. Because a lot of times I do fax virtually. So if the faxes are working, because sometimes the fax numbers work and sometimes it don't. Okay. But to answer your question, the benefit of the contract, I don't recommend. The attorneys that I spoke to have recommended a power of attorney, which is why I put it in play to help my clients leverage a little bit more. Great questions. All right, the subscription tab. This is where you can go ahead and create payment forms, onboarding forms, your plans. You can integrate your authorized user, your authorized merchant account in the platform. So this is where you'd be able to do all of those things for your clients. So if you're going out somewhere, you can create a payment form. You can create an onboarding form for you to collect information from them. Those are those options that are accessible to you once you do the subscription. Again, that's a pro feature. Okay. The next thing I want to cover is the settings. And I'm going to show you where when you decide to move this from doing it for yourself, for those of you that are in here and doing it as a credit repair company, I want you to go ahead and check this option out. So you can either click on balance, or you can click on these three dots and go to settings. Settings is going to take you into where you can change any information. So let's say you go from it being personal to now you are bigcredit.com. So you would come in and put your email, Raquel@bigcredit.com. You have the phone number, and then you can add your photo. Please note that the photo is only accessible when you have the pro. Otherwise, the only person seeing it is your beautiful face. Okay. The organization tab is where you can put your logo, you can put your website information, you can put your contract in here. If anyone needs a copy of the contract, please go ahead and drop it in the chat. I will make sure to drop a copy of the contract in there for you guys to see. If you have team members, I have my lovely niece that works with me. So instead of giving her my username and password, because I don't trust her, plus I use my username, my password for like everything, you can put their email address in here and they'll be able to create their own password to get in. So you don't have to worry about that. The affiliate tab is where you can create your affiliate links. So you can sign up to all the credit monitoring softwares that are compatible with this software. And when you go to the pro, you can give your clients options on what to select. So going back to Gregory's question, on my platform, the only option that they have is Credit Dyno. Everything else is turned off. So they don't even have that option. So when they come into the client portal, the only option that they have is to secure their actual credit monitoring through Credit Dyno. Now, again, a lot of my clients that come in, they come in from the audit. So because they've already secured their Credit Dyno, they don't have to put anything in there. I'll automatically put it in for them. I saw that you said that you
Okay.
needed the contract. I will drop it in there for you.
But question.
Uh-huh.
My question was that, but that's only in the pro, or is that
Correct.
for both? Is
Only in the
that
pro.
only in the pro? Okay.
Yep. Great questions. I never sent it because of the confidentiality, but wanted to see what your thoughts were. Thank you. My pleasure, babes. I definitely would say, I mean, you can try it. Again, I'm a good component on trying it and seeing how it works, but for transparency, because I dealt with an attorney, and one of the things, and my old mentor switched over to doing it with a power of attorney, and we kind of like he did it first, okay, and then I did it second, okay, so that's how that went. But yeah, so in the pro version, you have the option for this. If you're not on pro, none of this is applicable. So you can put the contract in here, which I dropped in the chat, a sample contract. You can put the contract in here, but no one's going to get to see it unless you're in the pro version. Okay. The disputing tab allows you to go ahead and change the addresses that appear on the letters. The credit reporting agencies have anywhere from 7 to 15 different addresses that I've counted so far. So with that being said, if you wanted to go ahead and send a letter to different addresses, I've had people send one letter to all the addresses. Okay, that is a method that some people use. You can actually go ahead and change the address here, and that way the letter will then be printed to go to the next address. So for instance, if January you send it to TransUnion 2000, but then February you send it to TransUnion 1000, you can come in the system, edit it here, it will automatically be put on the letters itself. The billing tab gives you the ability to put your payment method on file. Again, so credits are what's needed in order to generate the letters. Every round costs $17. So you have to load either $20 at minimum onto the system. The reason that is because the static letters, which are the letters that are going to LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, those letters are required. You need to have at least $1 in the bucket in order for those letters to be generated. It is a free letter, but you need to have money in your balance in order for the letters to be generated. The system does bulk purchase where you can load $100. So after you finish the letters, you can have the system mail the letters out for you. So you know you're completing, check, done. Or you can just put the $20 on there. If you're using Credit Dyno, you process the attack for free, and then you'll have money on the account to go ahead and generate the static letters because it's not going to charge you anything. And then if you want to print it off, you're good to go. Okay. The lowest amount that you can load is $20. So with that being said, we've noticed that there's a trend that people either load $20 or $60. So depending on which one you load, you have the ability to either get $30 every month, or you can get $90 every month for signing up for this subscription package. Okay. So you can sign up for this. I want to explain that this is only for you. So for those of you that are using this platform for you and your family, there's only one subscription plan. So if you are doing this with your family, Once you run out of, so if you're doing the $20 and you get $30, once you run out of that money, your card information should be on there, not your family members. So you'd have to make sure that it runs through accordingly so that it can be pulled. Okay? When you're signing up for this. Again, you can do bulk purchases. The invoice tab is where you can see any invoices. You can see your invoice for your pro and any outstanding statements that you have. You can actually invoice the client. Again, when you have the pro version, you can send invoices out to the client so the clients can pay automatically. The activity tab is where you can see any attacks. So every dispute letter that goes out every month, they're known as attacks. So you're able to see that flow here. If you send it out via mail, you're able to see the mailing information here, and any credits that come in, which I'm going to show you in a second, you'll be able to see on this platform here. This integration tool allows you to do something really cool. So for me, I have an email sequence. I have a 52-week email sequence and I have a 32-week email sequence. The email sequence allows me the opportunity for one software to talk to another. So my email sequence software uses Zapier, that when the client comes into Dispute Panda, it automatically sends them over to my email sequence. Or if the client logs in on my calendar, they then get automatically logged into Dispute Panda as a lead. So it gives me a little bit more freedom to where I don't have to manually enter the information in from one system to the next system. Okay, that is only applicable when you have the pro version. The referral option is what I showed you guys at the beginning. So if you want anyone to jump in and sign up under you, you get those wonderful credits that you're able to get some drip money from. Question in the chat, will we have access to the Zoom for use later? If you go to Dispute Panda on YouTube, you will have access to the replay. If you guys are in the community, you can actually go into the community and watch the replay there as well. So you do have access to watch me be silly all over again. Great questions. I'm going to open the floor for questions before I load my test client in. Does anyone have any questions on what we have covered so far? Any questions? Any questions, guys? No? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and load my test client in. So as you're filling this out, I want to point out the things that are starred. So when you guys are looking on the platform, these things are what's required. First name, last name, email address, phone number, last four social, address, date of birth. Okay. If your client has a middle name, it's on their ID, they use it. Every time they apply for something, they use it. Personally, I tell my clients to not use their middle name. Completely up to them. If they're like Usher, okay, Usher Raymond the 17th, and they use that, you have the ability to go ahead and put it in there. But I want to be transparent that it does not need to be there. The only thing that is required is the first name and the last name. Okay. Room. Because I don't want no problems. Because if you're on the social medias, we don't want no problems. Okay. As you can see, I'm going to put the phone number in. That is the same phone number. And then last four social. And then we are going to put the test account here. If you have a unit, a suite, an apartment number, a floor, a building, please put it in the street address. Everything else is going to go in its individual box, okay? You want to make sure that you are highlighting the right options and then putting in the birthday. Boom, boom, boom. If I have the pro, I would go ahead and check this box. It will automatically send my client the login information via email. However, if I don't have the pro, I'm just hitting save chat because it ain't gonna do nothing. Question in the chat. Do you recommend using the static letters for the first round since it's addressed to smaller agencies? So if you're looking at the guide, that's a great question. If you're looking at the guide is telling you that the static letters go out with the dispute letters. So there's not a separation. So let me clarify. You cannot generate a static letter without telling the system to dispute something. So you'd have to go into the system, select all the disputes. So it just makes more sense to go ahead and do it with the round. If you want to hold back the round, meaning you don't send off the dispute letters that are going to go to the 3 major credit reporting agencies, and you're only sending the static letters to the secondary agencies, I want to clarify that the secondary agencies are not necessarily smaller. LexisNexis holds your marriage certificate, your driving record, your arrest record, your employment record. All of that information is with that one particular company. So by no means, I want you to think that it's a light work, but it does not, if you choose to do that flow, what my recommendation would be is to track what the level of success is, because ultimately the clients are not caring about LexisNexis and Novus LCI, not unless they're doing something like they're trying to get an apartment or they're trying to get a job. That's when they're going to care about those secondary agencies. Most of them are caring about the big 3, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So it's completely up to you how you want to navigate. What I would suggest is if you're going to do that, that you track and see what is the resolve that you get from them. Because you're going to get responses back. See how you track it and see how it works for you. I personally don't, but that's a cool method. If you try it, let me know how it works out. I'm down. I love that question. I like out of the box thinkers. Come on, friend. All right. So I want to go ahead and go over this really quickly with y'all before we get started. It's my pleasure. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Now, when you are going to dispute your client's profile, I want to point out there's only 2 things that you need to pay attention to: the proof of identification and the proof of address. All right. Those are the 2 required points. What I want to go ahead and clearly point out right here for y'all is that as we are going through this system, y'all, if the person has a valid driver's license in date but not in address, we are not using it. What do I mean? I live at 2703 Littlewood Drive. That's not where I live, but let's say that's where I lived, okay? I live at this location. And then I turn around and I move to 1414 Mockingbird Lane. But my driver's license still says 2703 Littlewood Drive. I am not going to use that driver's license because the point of the profile is to create a clean profile. Everyone is concerned about the score, but they're not concerned about the full profile. When you are doing credit repair, it's more than just the numbers, okay? Please understand that a tactic that people use is by removing out-of-date addresses in order to help remove old collection accounts that are on the client's profile. But the next portion that you're ending up doing for your client when you move it down to one name, one address, one date of birth, one social, is that when they go to apply for things, they look appealing because it doesn't look like they're moving all the time. Please understand that these addresses have dates on them. So if they're like, oh, they only stayed this place for 3 months, they only stayed this place for 7 months, oh, they switched jobs, they have 7 jobs listed on their profile. First of all, it's none of their business. The only reason that employment is on the credit report is because when you fill out an application for credit, you are putting down who your employer is. Based on the information that you're putting down is what's then being reported on the credit report. So please understand that employment history is not required. It is optional. So when you are looking at your client's profile, your goal is not just the score. Your goal is to leave them in a shape where they are fundable, employable in real time, right? So if the driver's license is not accurate, move to something else. If you are leveraging the Social Security card, my loves, you do not need to put it in the other because that Social Security card is going as a primary as a proof of identification. Now, if you are using residential bills for proof of address, best practice is that you want to make sure you get an updated bill every 60 to 90 days. That is best practice, okay? If you have a person that does not have a valid driver's license, cannot find their Social Security card, but they have their passport, please use their passport. If they have, like they say, the birth certificate, use the birth certificate. Again, birth certificates are pretty long, and I'm going to show you guys how we can crop some things out. So that's why I really don't like to use that. But there are options, and I did drop it in the chat for you guys to have accessibility to it. Now, if the client is giving you the information, I want you to know that this system does allow you to crop out anything that's not needed. So if they give it to you on a big old background and the ID is this small, child, just crop and zoom in, okay? The goal is to get everything to fit on no more than 1 to 2 pieces of paper. When you are doing the bill, this is the bill. Now, people will send you a bill, friends. I need y'all to listen to me. They will send you a bill, and the bill will have a past due on it. In the name of Jesus, I need y'all to crop that out. We are going to give the credit reporting agencies what they need and no more. Okay. So you can crop it down to where it's only showing the imperative information and nothing else. Okay. In this particular case, I have a fake social security card. So we're just going to go ahead and put it on here. Okay. Like that, like so. And now everything is uploaded. Even if I didn't want the social security card up here, as long as these two are filled, those are the requirements. The system will generate the letters. Now, if you are using MyScore IQ or Identity IQ, you have to log into their platform, download the actual report, and upload it here. If you're using Smart Credit, there is a video in the training tab at the very bottom, and you need to watch this video and grab the information on the Smart Credit profile as to how you can grab the HTML code, because you need the coding to paste it on here. No matter what credit monitoring software the client has, you can put the username and password into this platform for them to have accessibility to it. Boom. Let me do this. Now, what that means is instead of you calling the client, so just for recommendation, I heard that Gary asked a question earlier. I do not take on a client that is not willing to give me their login information because I don't have the luxury. I actually process the files. Sometimes I'll be in this room 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working files. It is not beneficial for me to have to call the client to get the information. It is going to run me ragged. I actually have a clause in my contract that says that if I try to get the credit monitoring information more than once from you, you get charged a fee. I need to be able to get into that platform, upload the letters, and do everything that I need to do in real time. So I need to collect that information. So no matter what platform they're using, you want to grab that information, plug it in here so that when you're working, you don't have to reach out to the client to get the info. Okay. As you can see, because my client has the credit dyno, I get 1 free round of attack. That means that if I had $20 in here, I would not have had to pay for anything because I'm getting a free round of attack. It actually shows here. Now up at the top of the screen, now the disputing tab is open. When you click on disputes, the system is automatically going to select the accounts that are impacting my client's profile. So all negative accounts, so if they had public records, it would be under the inquiry and it will be right here to say public records. Public records are judgments, liens, anything like that that's causing harm on the public sector. You'd be able to see it here. The inquiries, however, will show up on file and you have to manually dispute them. So I was going through over this weekend, and one of the things that we worked through in our workroom was why do they have to select it and what does this mean? So to the point of iPhone that was here earlier, that was saying, hey, I need to get these inquiries off. The best practice is that you're only disputing inquiries that are not attached to an open and active credit card or credit line. That is the best practice that you want to have done. With that being said, if you are using a Windows-based computer, you're going to do Control F, like F is in Foxtrot. If you are doing a Mac computer, you're going to do Command F. You are then able to go ahead and copy the account. I like to copy the ones that are fully spelled out just to keep it a buck with y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. It will then show me how many times that particular account is showing up. I can then see if the account is open. If it says open and it's a credit card and it's revolving, how you know is when you click, first of all, Capital One will tell you if it's normally revolving. If it's an auto loan, it will automatically say auto on it. But if it's a credit card or a credit line, it is a revolving account, which means they get to pay it, use it again, pay it, use it again. Okay. So with you doing that, you do not want to dispute this particular account for your client because you run the risk of them shutting the account down for your client. Okay. But if it's for, so I would not select this, but for, let's say, Omaha. So I will go ahead and put that here. This is not showing up anywhere. So I would go ahead and select it for my client. And you would do this for all the inquiries that are listed for your client. Whichever one is not attached to an open and active credit card or credit line, you're going to dispute. If it's attached to an auto loan, dispute it. Mortgage, dispute it. Okay. Once you are done with that, we are going to go back down to the accounts that are already selected. I want to point out this wonderful feature that's here. In the past, when Dispute Panda was originally birthed, we did not have late payment verbiage letter. So with that being said, the system would, if you decided to select an option for late payment, it would generate just a removal request. Now, however, the system does have late payment verbiage letters, so you can choose to select it. But the reason why this is yellow is because it's saying, hey, if you select late payments, it could have a potential to remove the account and impact your score. Again, that was because originally we did not have a late payment verbiage letter. In this particular case, I have no problem selecting it because the letters are now in place and systemically the system is going to know to generate it based on what's on the report. So when I'm looking at the history, as you can see for TransUnion, it's only going back to 2020. For Experian, it's only going back to 2020. I'm sorry, for Equifax, but for Experian, it's going all the way back to 2017. And this person in 2019 had late payments. So for me, I would select the Experian profile for the system to generate me a late payment verbiage letter. Okay. Now, besides that, the system is going to select everything else for me. What I want to go ahead is cover some of the, just a little bit of what my consultation looks like. So when I'm talking to my client and we're talking about the actual account in totality, I'm going to talk to them about the payment history. The payment history is worth 35% of their overall score, which is worth 192.5 points roughly. Okay. That is what the payment history is worth to my client. So I'm going to talk to them about making sure that at the bare minimum that they have their account set up on automatic payments for the accounts that matters, that is reporting on the credit report. Okay. Now I'm going to jump into the account health. This is a pivotal conversation for you to have with your client for two reasons. Number one, when we are talking about your utilization, that is 30% of your overall score, which is roughly 165 points. So if we're looking at the fact that 192 points is your payment history and 165 points is your utilization, why would I care about inquiries that are 55 points? I'm going to talk to you about the two areas that is going to move the pendulum for you and get you from the fives to the four, from the fours to the fives to the six to the sevens, right? With that being said, utilization is a key point that people miss. If you are talking to your clients about a credit card, the goal is for them to pay down the balance of their card 2 to 3 days before their statement is about to close. 2 to 3 days before their statement is about to close. I want us to start thinking about the due dates on credit cards at the latest possible time you can make a payment before a late fee is applied. Okay. However, the statement date is the date that they're going to run tell that. For all of y'all that used to watch Martin, that is the date that they finna run tell that. Okay. So you want to make sure that your balance is below 30%. If you are wanting to be in the 700 club, my goal is below 22% from what I've seen in these streets. And if you're wanting to be in the 800 club, the goal is to be below 10%. What questions you got, my love? Is it Karon? Or is it Karon? You got a question, my love? Okay. If no questions, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the profile. So once we have selected all of the things we're going to dispute, we're going to hit save filter. And then we are going to go back to our handy dandy guide, y'all. So the guide says that round 1, I am selecting the first attack, Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted. Okay. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me answer. There was a question that was in the chat and I wanted to answer that before we move forward. If you guys have a letter that you have used before and you know that it has been pivotal, it has gotten you results, and you want to add it to whatever Dispute Panda is doing, you have the ability to click on this wonderful box that says add a custom message. You can type out, use the code, the law, whatever it is that you want to use. You have the ability that you can save the template. Okay. You can save the template so that you can use it again in the future. You just hit the save button. You type in what the title is. You type in what file you want it to be under. And then you hit save template. So now whenever you come back in, if you ever want to use that template again, you have the accessibility to go ahead and do so. And that way it will be printed with the file. What I will tell you is, in my opinion, when I've used it before, if I'm using the Supreme Boosted, it will include my verbiage in the letter that it's generating for that round. If I'm using anything under the Supreme Boosted, it will only use my letter. It will not generate the systemic letter that I'm picking for that time. Okay? Hang on one second for me. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go back up here, hit save filter, going to go to attack. So the first round of letters is the Punch of Fury. It says it's supposed to be handwritten. If I had the pro, I would just click this box for it to generate the creditor letters for me. And then I'm going to select Supreme Boosted. I'm going to do start round, type in confirm, hit start round, and it's systemically going to generate the letter for me. Nothing I got to do. Okay. Now, once I'm done with this, I can either download the letters or I can mail the letters out. I would go ahead and hit start round again, hit static letters. For best practices, I like to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I would then select all the secondary reporting agencies that the system is going to have available to me. And then I would select start. Oh, I like to do handwritten because it's round 1. We're going to do handwritten. I'll then select start round, and then it generates the letters automatically. So it won't let me do it now, guys, because I don't have any money in, but it did allow me to do the letters. As you can see, you need at least $1 to create a static letter. All right. The history tab allows you to see previous letters that were generated. The invoice tab, any outstanding invoices you have, and the note tab is where you can track activity that's gone out. So if like I have a bankruptcy client, I write down, I sent the letter to bankruptcy court, I sent this, I sent that, all of those verbiages. Okay. So you have the ability to go ahead and maneuver. So we've literally just uploaded a client, completed their first round of disputes for the primary account, and we're talking about for the secondary credit reporting agencies. What questions, concerns, or comments do you guys have? Let me know. Any questions, guys?
Hi. I have a question.
Sure.
You want to keep typing? Does the system charges extra for the attacks and for the static letters? Like you see how you have to spend $17 for the run of attacks, and then do you have to spend another 17 for the static letters? Or like how does that work?
So I just showed you how we did it. There's only $17 if you're not using Credit Dyno, and it doesn't charge you anything for the static letters. So let me go back. When you click on the static letters, let's say I just click one static letter. Let's just do this. and I hit start round, the system is going to tell you right here that you need at least $1 in credit to create the static letters. So the static letters are free. You just have to have money in your account in order for it to generate the letter for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. I for some reason I remember when I send my first letters, I think I don't recall creating static letters. I think I only did the round, so I don't even know how the system allowed me to send it out like that. But I do remember that you mentioned that I could do it that way too. That if I wanted to just send the round of attacks, I can just do that without sending the static letters, and then
Correct. Because you have to send the round of attack. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. You don't have an option. Once you hit the dispute, the only option that you're going to have because the first thing that's going to come up is either you're going to select an attack or you're going to select the static letters. But you have to tell the system what to do. Does that make sense? Like, it's not going to know what to send or what not to send until you tell it where to go.
Yeah, I don't even know how I skipped the static letter part. But I will definitely make sure that for the next rounds that I choose the static letters as well.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let's see. Question in the chat. Any other questions, Miss D?
No other question. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my love. Okay, Andre said, so if I started with myself first, which I suggest, come on, friend, but it's planning on starting a full credit repair business after 30 days, should I start with the pro? It's up to you. Again, I'm my friend calls me a bully. Okay. He's called the bully in the credit repair industry. His actual business is bullying the credit, right? And his credit repair bully is the name of his company. And for him, he does use the pro. The pro is to be more aggressive in the method of disputes that you're utilizing. Whether or not you want to use the pro or not is going to be completely up to you, even if you don't have clients. The question is, do you want more aggressive letters? If the answer is yes, then going to the pro and having credit dyno with the pro version is going to give you the creditor letters. So I like to explain, if you're using Smart Credit, Identity IQ, MyScore IQ, you going to the pro is not going to matter because it's not going to generate the creditor letters unless you are using Credit Dyno as your credit monitoring software. Do you recommend using the static letters for okay, I already answered that. Okay, so I only missed one person. My bad, y'all. Oh, now she put all the links down for me. I'm done with her. Oh, so she dropped my chat. Oh, I love her. My admin decided she's leaving for tonight. You see this? You can't hide good help, y'all. Any other questions, concerns, or comments for you guys? Let me know. Yeah, you see how she just left me? She said, I'm getting tired, y'all. And then she dropped all my links. So if you want to be a part of the Facebook group, by all means, go ahead. She done dropped the link in the chat, y'all. Go ahead and follow your girl. Oh, she gave you my Facebook, my Instagram, and my TikTok. Oh, Andre, I don't think I don't let nobody in the group unless you're a mentee or you've booked a call. But I just like to be honest with you. I like to be honest with you. If you're a mentee, you'll get in the Facebook group. I do have a free group, so I will go ahead and send you a message for the free group if you want to go ahead and look at that. Any other questions, concerns, or my pleasure, Dre. Any other questions, concerns, or comments, guys? Let me know. Any other questions, guys? Oh, Miss Clay, I appreciate that. I'll be signing for the mentorship. Oh, I love that. Yes, honey. We don't meet for the rest of this month because I will be in Atlanta until I think I come back on the 27th. So because I come back on the 27th, we're not going to be meeting this month, but we will be meeting next month. But when you join the mentorship, you do have the replay and you have access to on-demand training that y'all can definitely consume. Should I pull my LexisNexis report for static letters? It depends on your flow. My flow is I request the report. Okay, so since we're in the room, let's have this conversation. My flow, because of and this is when I'm working clients. So how you work yourself it might be a little bit different than how you work a client, just for transparency, okay? So when you are working a client, and this is something that you'll see in the mentorship, my love, number one, we talk about the state laws. So I give you access to the state laws for you to see how you can get the information. I'm in the state of Texas. State of Texas says that I have to give my clients a 3-day right of rescission for them to cancel. They can say they don't want to be with me anymore. Okay. Keeping that in mind, the first round of letters for me is what I call an announcement letter. It's a personal information letter that when you're in the mentorship, you have access to it in the bonus area. In the bonus area, you are able to go ahead and click on that personal information letter. You make a copy of it. And what you're able to do is go into the system and actually put all the names that are incorrect, all the addresses that are incorrect, any employment that you want to remove. You put all that stuff in there and you send that out for the client. Okay. That is what I send out after the client has paid me, signed the contract, and uploaded all of their documentation. That is officially day one for the client. The state of Texas says I need to give them 3 days right to cancel. My contract, however, gives them 5 days. So I don't send out my first round of actual disputes for my clients until day 5. Okay. First letter that goes out is the personal information on day 1. I have their ID, I have their POA. All of that is included in that personal information letter that I'm sending out to the credit reporting agencies. Then after I've done that, I also send out a request letter that says, hey, LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, depending on if the client has bankruptcy or not, I'm sending it out to those other agencies, and I'm sending the bankruptcy request letter as well. That is what the only thing that leaves my book of business on day 1. I do not touch that file again until after day 5. Personally, it's between 5 and 10 is when I normally touch it. I like to be honest with y'all. Okay, that's my window. It's between 5 and 10. I go back in and then I mail out the round of disputes. Now, that doesn't mean that on day 1, I don't go into Dispute Panda. I generate the letters. I just don't print them and actually put them in envelopes to mail out until after my 5-day window has passed, because I want to make sure if the client declines and says that they do not want to do business with me, I am not expensing the overhead of mailing out those documentation. Because although my contract says that there is a refund, my contract specifically says how much I get to keep and how much I refund back to them within that 5-day window. So again, my contract says 5 days. State says I need to give them 3 days. So for me, if I'm working my file, then I don't care if I'm sending out the static letters the same time I'm sending out the dispute letters, because the information is going to come back to me saying either I have an account with them or I don't have an account with them, right? And let's be clear, everyone has a LexisNexis account. I don't care who you are, as long as you have a driver's license on this planet, you have a LexisNexis account. You might not have a Clarity, you may not have a Factor Trust. You will 1000% have a LexisNexis profile, okay? If you are doing your account, my recommendation is that you can send everything out all at one time because it's your file. You're not canceling you, right? You're not firing you. If you are doing your other clients, you have to figure out a flow that works for you. For me, the reason why I did that is if they decided to cancel within that 5-day window, I wasn't wasting my stamps, because on the low end, I want to say the lowest amount of letters I've ever sent out were 15 letters. And one of those pages was like 22 pages. Okay. So for me, if all I sent out was a personal information letter and then they quit me, when they get that mail in from the credit reporting agencies, guess what they're going to do? They're going to call your girl back and be like, never mind, I want to sign up because I done got all these letters. Or they'll say, I got all these letters. What do I do next? I don't know. You fired me. Here's a link. You can book a call and we can talk about what your options are, because I'm no longer hired, right? You no longer have me in your corner. So you can either sign back up with the program, or you can book a one-on-one call and I can go over the letters with you as to what they mean. But you have to figure out what flow you want to do for yourself when it comes to other people. For you, since you were saying you're working on your own profile, child, it doesn't matter. You can send out the letters whenever you want to, because hopefully you're not going to fire you, Dre. I would hope that you're going to stay committed to you. Okay? Does that answer your question? Let me know if you got anything else. I'm not playing with you. I do like to tell, okay? I like to tell you we out here, we on fire. He said, dope answer. Very, very dope way to get me to sign up for the mentorship. I'm done. I like to spit facts over here, y'all. I want y'all to have the material and the tools for y'all to be a beast in these credit streets. Any other questions, concerns, or comments, let me know. And I give away goodies. Trina could tell you, I give away goodies when you sign up for the mentorship. So you get a lovely goodie box. Oh, let me know if you guys want to sign up. Next class is going to be in September. You guys do have like hours of replays. And while I'm in Atlanta, there's actually 4 classes that I need to upload. So my goal is to make sure that those are all uploaded before September 2nd with all the transcripts and everything in there for you guys. Cause I love y'all. I love y'all. Do you love me? What's wrong with you? Oh, sorry. Any other questions before I let y'all go ahead and have a great night? Cause I gotta go stalk my husband. He came home and he didn't even give me a kiss, y'all. Cause I was on here with y'all. He be ignoring me when I'm on here with y'all. Any questions, concerns, or comments, darling? All right. If all hearts and mind are clear, Trina, I'm gonna answer that question when we have the next workroom. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. All right, y'all. So on that note, it looks like we don't have any questions. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure. I love coming here and talking to y'all. Again, we will be back on Wednesday. So if anyone is having any technical problems or you guys want to do some letters, I love when you guys generate the letters while we're on the call. It will be greatly appreciated for us to do the walkthrough, because I love when y'all pull up to Club Raquel and we acting up together. Okay? I appreciate y'all. So on that note, you guys have a blessed night. Thank you guys for helping me help you be a beast in these credit streets. For everyone else, if you want to watch the replay should be available on YouTube under Dispute Panda. Oh, I love that. I definitely like to give new information, but it's on YouTube, Dispute Panda. You'll be able to watch the replay. I'm going to make sure that the back office has it tonight. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can definitely go ahead and DM. I do want to be transparent. I have no problem with anyone DMing me. If it's a quick question that I can answer, I will definitely answer in my DM. If it requires more than just a quick response, please know I will tell you guys that you have to book a one-on-one. All right? I like to be honest with y'all. All right. Other than that, thank you guys for coming in. Bye. Stop the recording.